worried. When we were in Berlin after World War II, they picked up the wreck of a JS3. We know the Soviets, who we're now falling out with in the Cold War, they are building bigger tanks, and they're going to be building, let's not kid ourselves. We know bigger ones are coming. So in the early 50s, we start a project to try and get an even bigger gun that we might be able to put on a tank that's going to be building called FV4005. It's going to be something like the hum of the concrete. So they start off with what they call Stage 1, FV4005, that's what this is. Stage 1, no cam on the top. It has an auto assist to try out firing. The rounds are so big, how the hell are we going to do it? This is Stage 2 we've got here, and carry on experimenting with this till about the mid-1950s. And then we realised it was like about an awful lot of old vehicles here. If you're 80, you know on a hot day it doesn't always look the same. So you're always going to be a risk. But on with our next bit. We wanted to show off a couple of big gun tanks. This is a test bed, not a prototype. This particular vehicle, FV fighting vehicle 4005, actually has on it the largest direct fire gun ever put on a tank. And this is an issue that the NATO countries in the early 1950s were particularly concerned about. What it was is we've seen those bigger Russian tanks at the end of World War II, the JS2 and 3, and we know the Russians are going to be carrying on that development, building bigger tanks. So we're going to need a bigger gun to knock those vehicles slightly closer. And that starts in the early 1950s, a development program to how can we put a gun as big as this 10.2 inch. It was basically a field howitzer that they converted to go on a tank. What's going to work? With what the Americans are designing now, the M48 tanks, etc. But this is the big boy to take out the bigger targets. And with the M103, huge great cast turrets, the gun they pick, they've actually got an anti-aircraft gun that was called the Stratosphere gun. It could fire a round up to 60,000 feet. So imagine if you then do that on ground level, it's got a lot of welly behind that very big 120mm round. So the Americans trial that, and they put it on this new design that they call the M103 tank. And that again is there to take on those bigger Soviet era tanks. You're not going to have many of them, but there's enough there to supposedly cause a problem. That completely makes this 120 here redundant. And we're going to see that gun in a moment. Tank. Meanwhile, the American Marines, they always get the, put it bluntly, the kit that everyone else doesn't want. They have this tank in service